forget about salary caps and that, whatnot at the moment, okay? Just give me like your priorities right now. Like, what are your priorities for this team when it comes to adding certain types of players? Even if we don't have to talk specifics, just give me kind of an outline of the type of player you think this team needs moving forward.
Well, I'll tell you this. I should tell your listeners. I mean, I think the people that know me and watch our shows kind of know my history with the Lakers. Like, and I've said it before on this show, like out of the womb fan my whole life, and obviously got the dream job of covering the team. And as you know, George, once you start covering the team, like things change, right? Like, I don't know if it's also becoming a father or whatever, but like my priorities, like, yes, I want to win all the time. But I can also look at this season and say, man, 53 wins, won a playoff round. Like, that's successful. Am I satisfied? No, because the fan of me still wants to win. So when I think about like the Laker team, and I know I just said this in the last segment, I keep going back to how can they beat OKC and San Antonio? But I need to kind of put that to the side, if that makes sense, George. And what's the best team that they can be and how can they get better? It's got to be athleticism and some youth. Where I think the Lakers have to get better is in the draft, they have not hit the last couple of times. And I think when I look at the best teams, it's the perfect storm. It's the storm of three. It's draft, it's trade, it's free agency, right? And you have to have that combination. So the Lakers with the 25th pick this year, they got to get someone that's going to be a rotational player in the first couple of years, like OKC has done, like San Antonio has done. Not a starter, but someone that can be a impact player moving forward in a couple of years. So I'd like to see that. If you have to give one thing, give me athletic wings. And I know that's so overplayed in the NBA, and that's all anyone talks about. We need 3-and-D wings, but you have to have length and athleticism. Because when I watched OKC series, and I watched an A.J. Mitchell who's longer and fast, able to get to the rack, get to his spots, also able to defend, like that's the biggest thing for me, was the way OKC was able to guard one-on-one on the perimeter or in the paint. And then if you want to switch, they could do that. You want to hedge, they'll do that. You want to blitz, they're going to cause problems at half court. The toughness of Alex Caruso, like that kind of combination. Give me some 3-and-D wings. I wouldn't mind a big that can stretch the floor too. You got to be able to rim and stretch the floor, so that's a priority. A guard that's a little bigger. Big guards for me are also like, give me one of those. I would love a guy off the bench that can cook and heat up, George. I know I'm giving you a lot of things, but if I'm building a wish list, like those are the type of guys I want.
So it's interesting you say that. So I spoke to a former NBA GM yesterday who happened to be at the game that I was at in Detroit, and spent a lot of time talking to him, right? And I asked him, what are the priorities, when you're looking at bringing in players, whether that's the draft, free agency, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Even in the G League, let's call it, right? And he said 3 things: size, speed, skill. Mm-hmm. He goes, you can't teach size, okay? And he's like, I'm talking about every position, okay? Now, are there smaller guys who are outliers? Sure, okay? Chris Paul, outlier, right?
Yes.
He didn't say this, but I'm saying that. Chris Paul, small guard, outlier, superstar player, even at 6 feet tall, okay? But that's an outlier. So he says you can't teach size. He goes, ideally what you want is 2 of those 3, at least to start. And really what you want to start, if you're developing a player, is size and speed, right? He goes, can I make you a little faster? Sure, through our training, maybe I can make you a little faster. But speed also, you can't really teach usually. He goes, skill, if I've got time and I can develop you, I can get your skill to a certain level where I feel like I can make you a rotational player. And that is, to me, it made all the sense in the world. Like, that to me is the building block of how you develop a guy, especially if you're going to draft a guy or you're going to find a guy, a two-way guy through the G League. Because if you think about it, how many guys have you seen that started their career on any team in the NBA where you're like, man, that guy has prototypical size, and you're like, But you know what? He doesn't really have a ton of skill. He's pretty raw, right? Like, how many times do we say that? A lot, right?
All the time.
And a guy I look at in this league, and the Lakers have played against him in the playoffs 2 years ago now, Jaden McDaniels is a perfect example of that. You look at a guy with that kind of size, right, who can defend multiple positions, right? He's got plenty of quickness for his size as well. He just wasn't super skilled to start. Now, dude, not only is he locking up Kevin Durant in a game I was at earlier this year where Durant was like 3 of 12 against him, but he's getting 30 on the other end on a given night. And that's the type of development that you want. And if you're the Lakers, to your point, you need to do that. It starts with the 25th pick this year. Did you know, by the way, Brian Windhorst brought this up to me the other day on the show. Do you know the last rookie the Lakers extended that they drafted?
Ooh, hold on. Man.
Got to go way back.
Yeah, because it wasn't D'Lo, it wasn't Ingram, it wasn't Randall.
They traded those guys.
Wasn't
Right
Lonzo,
now,
it wasn't Josh Hart. They traded all
Yep.
those guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The last rookie that they extended.
I'll give you a hint. You ready?
Yeah, it wasn't.
2005 draft.
So it was after Luke. Luke was 03, right? 04.
Yep. Class of 03, Luke. Who I saw yesterday, too.
Was it Bynum?
Yes.
Bynum.
Andrew Bynum was the last drafted player the Lakers extended.
That is a wild stat. And it goes to show you in how the NBA's changed, right, George? Because back then, you were all about bringing guys in that you are, to fit with your stars. You had Kobe and Pau. It's about getting Fish back in the mix. It's trading Shaq. You get Lamar Odom, and you're keeping Luke and Farmar, but then you're bringing in a Shannon Brown, like all those types of things. Now, I believe the way you've seen OKC do it, and the Spurs do it, and Detroit do it, and the Knicks in a way, but they've brought in guys on trade, but is building through the draft, and now you get your pieces, right? Like, and the Lakers have always been about staying relevant and trying to win now in the Kobe era and into the LeBron era, that you just don't have that capital anymore. You've traded them all, right? Or some didn't work out, like a Jalen Hood-Schifino.
It is fascinating, but you got to hit on your picks in some way, shape, or form. Like Dalton Connect, with the 17th pick not being a viable option at this stage, is a tough pill to swallow. That's the reality in today's NBA with the salary structure and how punitive things are. You need, for lack of a better phrase, cost-effective employees.
That's
and the draft allows you to have that.
That's it, and that's where OKC it gets frightening when you think about the cost-effective guys that they have on their roster, and A.J. Mitchell being the 15th highest-paid guy and McCain being the 14th highest-paid guy, and you can let a guy like Lou Dort walk. I don't think they will, but you could because you have a number of guys coming in that are already there, and you have 2 more draft picks. Like, that's how you build. It's hard to do now, but that's where I listen, George, I'm always on this, like, man, how much patience can I have? Because we all like winning, and we're all competitive, and you have Luka, and you're not going to do it overnight. But how do you take those steps for a year, 2 years down the road? You are really a contender. Because right now you're in the mix, but to be a real contender, you got to build that out. And I also go back to this, George. Playoff guys, like McDaniels in the playoffs, man, is he nasty. Because of, like you said, he can drop 30, but he's also locking you up because the playoffs are played differently, George. And I know people are reminded of that every single year when you start to watch more basketball in late April and May. It's officiated different. It slows down. Half-court offense matters. And in the regular season, George, it just isn't it doesn't rear its head like that, right? Like a guy like Rui, I look at, George, he is so good in the playoffs. And he has shown us time and time again how valuable he is, way more than in the regular season. Robert Horry was that type of guy, right?
100%.
He can raise his level and his body type. He's big. He's strong. He can get to his spots. He can hit threes at a 44% clip. He's over 50% from mid-range. Like, that guy is valuable. So what number are you going to give him? Because he's a valuable type that you need next to a Luka Doncic. That's what the Lakers are those are the decisions they have to make, George, because that guy right there is a playoff type of player.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. And when you look at the way that they're structured, you mentioned Rui. I saw an article yesterday where, he was making about 18
Yep.
this year,
Yeah, he had a 3-year
and
deal,
it would
right?
only cost about 20 is what I was reading. At 20, I would sign him in a heartbeat. If you told me right now that was the number, I'd take that in 2
You
seconds.
take that. Yeah, I would too, because, I mean, the guy has the greatest three-point shooting percentage in the playoffs over a number of games, right? Like
In
consecutive.
NBA history.
And we've also seen it in the past from him in the playoffs. Now, there are times where he, was out there with the starting unit and he would get lost in the beginning of the season, but they really hadn't found their rhythm yet. And all those are, I think you always say this, two things can be true, right, George? Like,
Yeah.
that is a fact also. So that can frustrate fans. It can frustrate me. It frustrates James, Robert. It frustrates the Lakers. But when push comes to shove and you are in a playoff series, that guy's ready to go. And I can't teach you that. You either have that in you or you don't.